do is I want to do it so that I've got, because I'm going to be doing a series on my YouTube channel of making things to go in journals, a how-to basically. So instead of just making things, me going through how I make certain things. So, hi Leah. Wooster's pacing. What are you pacing for? Is it because the weather's so close? What? Come here then. Come and say hello, and then like you can. That's it. You just knock the camera. Don't mind me. Come on, come up. Okay. So Wooster's here. Yes, I know. I love you too. Mein Hund ist schon. Mein Hund ist sehr schön. That's basically my dog is beautiful, or my dog is very beautiful. So yes. So Worcester's not going to help me, but I think I'm going to be doing a lap book, doing lots of. You need a breath mint. Doing lots of things to go in it, but like rather than me just making them, you getting down? Careful. Rather than me just making them, I'm going to be making them. Sorry, it sounds like he's tap dancing. He's not. Rather than just making them, I'm going to show you how to make them. So like going through a process of this is what I do, this is what I found brings good results, this is what I found doesn't bring so good results, so that you can work through and do things. We can do things together. So I want to start making the substrate of the lap book. So I'm going to move you over. Unfortunately, I thought it was all set up to go, but then I realised I had to move the cradle out of the way because I did a Zoom call with work the other day and it was in the way. So I had to move it, and I forgot to move it back. So I don't know whether it's going to be in the right place. We might have to have a bit of a jiggle, and if you don't like the whole moving thing, then you'll have to look away. Okay? So I'm going to move you over now. So, okay. Ugh, you're not as far away this time, which isn't normal. Please, I haven't rotated the phone. Stop telling me to not rotate the phone. I haven't. Okay, so. Oh, it's not too bad. I think it's a little bit low, though. We don't want it too low. Sorry about the moving, folks. But we'll get it in place as soon as I possibly can. Okay, hopefully you can hear me as well. Let me just move that out of the way so I can see where my mat ends. Oh, wow, miles over. Okay, so I like it to be quite square. I'm sure you know this. Okay. It's going to have to do there. Right, okay. Let's move that out of the way. See if we can get rid of that. Okay, fine. Move my wire out of the way. Hook that over there. And so, like I say, today I want to just make the lap book. So not just making the lap book, but go through some of the ideas that I've had for it. So this is an old. The Sunday Times didn't buy it. Bought it from didn't buy it new. Bought it from a charity shop. Book of the Countryside, which I've gutted. Ta-da! So I want to use this as kind of the base of, because it's a lap book. Remember, they kind of open and they open out. So I want to use this as the base, okay, because it's the right sort of size. These I want to cut down and use as the flip out. So either having a flip out like that, or having a flip like that, or having a flip like that, okay. Or it could even come down, or you could even have it split it in half and do up and down. But that's going to be one side, and then this is going to be the other side. So those to be cut down, okay, which I'm going to do in a second. But also then the end pages. I don't know if you've ever seen these. These are Pippin. So these are from Pippin Press. These are Pepin Press. Sorry. And these are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful wrapping papers that I know everybody struggles with whether they want to use. So, but look how beautiful these are. If you've never seen these are going to be a real treat and a feast for the eye. So basically, they're a piece of wrapping paper that is folded in four that you tear out, and then, well, it's perforated. You don't just tear it, and it's just got the most beautiful imagery on it. So that's one sheet of wrapping paper. Then this is another sheet, and then the other thing is it's nice because it's matte. You know, if somebody gives you something wrapped in matte wrapping paper, I always think, oh, that's a bit like, you know, a bit of quality, rather than the glossy stuff, because we always used to see glossy stuff as being quality, but now I think my mindset has changed. So that's another sheet. Then this is another one, and this is another one. These are great for fussy cutting, but they're also really nice for just like using as end papers. Another sheet here, another sheet here, another sheet here. So obviously when it folds out, because it's 4, it folds out to being this wide and then double this height high. Double this height high. Choose your words better next time, Dave. Another sheet here, another sheet here, another one here. Sorry, I don't want you to get bored. Another one here, another one here, and that's it. Okay, so you get loads. So this is all the patterns that you get in one book, and then you see how it looks. It all folds out. And then this is the other one. I'll just show you this one. Oh, I forgot. Did you get that on the front of that one? I don't know. You do. Well, that's a bit of fussy cutting there, isn't it? So there's this, which is, how beautiful is that? Obviously, loads of butterflies. If you're a fan of butterflies and you like fussy cutting, you can knock yourself out here. Insects, which is more my thing than the butterflies, but you know, mushrooms. I didn't think they'd be able to fit those in because I didn't think there'd be mushroom for them. Yep, moving on. Sorry, I'm just a fun guy. Then there's well, these look quite gourd-y. They're gourds. There's fruit, obviously. Ooh, that's a nice pear. So pears, and then there's vegetables. There's pears and bears. Okay, a bear where? There. A bear where? There. A bear where? I don't know which else is bears. There again. So yeah, so these are nice as well. Then there's these, which are birds and feathers. This, another beautiful one. That reminds me, that picture reminds me of ladybird books. I don't know whether you remember, but like it just has that kind of a look of a ladybird book. Shells. I didn't know whether to show you this. And then I thought, shall I? And then jellyfish and sea urchins and starfish. There you go. And so that's another one. Okay, so those I think they're between £7 and £10, but you get so much. So that's what I'm planning to use as the end papers. I just wanted to show you them because I just thought they were beautiful. Then the other thing is, I was thinking, I really want to have some kind of a closure, because we all need closure. I wanted to have some kind of a closure, and I've got these, which is it's actually an old watch. The watch, I don't know, it hasn't worked for a long time, probably just the battery, but I don't wear ordinary watches anymore now that I've got an Apple Watch. So I just thought I want to make good use of it, you know, me being a womble. So I thought I might put this on the outside in some way, but it was more specifically I wanted to have this as some kind of a closure. Now I haven't quite worked out how I'm going to do it, but you know, it's too early in the day to decide how to have a closure. But those are the things that kind of sparked my inspiration and thought this is what I wanted to do, along with the stuff that I'd made previously. So last week when I made the file folders, so we have them here, not that, we have these. And we have this, which is the one that I made, but then I made this is the one I made, and I made another one so you could see the difference. But this is one where I've aged it up, so it looks aged, like you would expect something aged up to look. So I just really like how the texture has gone in there. So I was thinking these are the kind of things that I want slotted in here some way, and then everything else that I make will be, you know, going in here at some point. So without further ado, let's get on with it, Dave. So, I'm going to put this stuff. So sometimes I decorate the end pages, then I put something else on, add something else on, and I think I covered the end page up. So I'm going to try and make as much of the substrate, as much of the, sorry, not the substrate, as much using the substrate, as much of the lap book, the construction side of it, as I can before I start thinking about how do I want to decorate it, etc. So, first of all, what I've got to do is I've got to measure this so that I have, so these flip out to the right size. So let's get rid of them for a minute. Let's just have a look. So please don't be longer than my ruler. Oh, look, you are. I think I have a longer ruler here, but I think it got bent. So it might not lie flat anymore. Yeah, it did get bent a little bit. So are we doing it in inches? Oh, it's 12. Oh, no, it's not. See if it's a bit more. I want it to be more of a bob on, but it's not going to be, is it? So, do I want them to come right down to them? I do, kind of, yes. So I want it to be there, and it comes down to here, which is 30.6 centimetres, which it would be, wouldn't it? It's not going to be 0.5. Why would it be? 30.6. We're going to put a line there. Oh, we're actually going to break the end off my pencil. So this is the line, okay? So let's just put that out of the way for a minute. So let's get this. It's always useful to have a longer ruler than a 30 centimetre or a 12-inch one, if you can, because you never know when you're going to need it, like now. So I'm going to do down to there on this side, and down to there on this side too. You should, if you're going to measure, you should always do 3 measurements. So another one there, and I'm going to put one in the middle, because then when you join it up, you know that your mark is right. You're more likely to get 2 out of 3 correct than 2 out of 2. And hopefully then they should all line up, which they do. Yay! There we go. Put a line in there. Just draw a line in it, Dave. And then we're going to do the same for this, because it would be a good idea to have them both the same length, as they're both going in the same journal. So another one. Sorry, apologies if I'm leaning in over the camera, but I have to be able to see. I'm going to cut this sticker off. Well, let's do this side first. This is me measuring. I know it doesn't happen very often, so. Oh, exciting news I have, by the way. I've ordered my kitchen. So I'd ordered some of it, but I've ordered the rest of it. So I've just shelled out £1,000 today. Luckily, not all in cash. Most of it was in vouchers. Vouchers came from, I do a lot of online shopping surveys, and I do mystery shopping and all sorts of things. So, and I've been collecting for about, probably about 18 months, £1,000 in total. I paid 430 a few weeks ago, and I paid 620 this in vouchers, and then the rest of it I paid in cash. So anyway. I'm sure you don't really want to know that, but I'm telling you anyway. So I'm going to cut this bit off, and hopefully I've got a nice sharp blade. Now I'm not going to try and do this in one, because it's not going to happen. Oh, let's try and at least try and follow the ruler though, Dave. And then I'm just going to keep going. Don't try and cut it all off in one go. Just keep cutting through. Light pressure, don't press too hard. If you press too hard, the knife is likely to skip, and it could skip this way, and we don't want that to happen. Well, I don't anyway. Losing a limb will not help me be able to install a kitchen, will it? So cutting through Yeah, done. Okay, so that's hopefully the right side. I'll measure it against the book in a minute. I'm not measuring it now, otherwise I'll be like, oh no, it doesn't fit. Although perhaps I should do it before I cut this one. Oh, no. Let's just go for it, Dave. If measured once, measured twice, I mean cut once. That's what they say. Is you should measure twice and cut once. That's what they say. Doesn't necessarily mean to say that we have to follow it. So I'm just trying to cut through this. It's very muggy here today. I'm feeling like I've got beads of sweat on my forehead already. So okay, that's that one cut off. Which hopefully those two should be the same size. They are. Which means that these two should be the same size. They are. Let's hopefully these will fit in here. This will be the same size as this. Let's open it up, Dave. Get one of them and place it here. Is it the same size? It is. Hurrah. There we go. Yeah, it fits. If it fits, it sits. Okay, so that's the right size. What I do want to do is I want to have a bit of a spine. Those people that think I'm spineless, just saying, sorry. So I could have it so that you have just the depth of the spine, okay, which is 3 centimeters, I believe. I checked it earlier. Yes, but I'm going to have it so that it takes into account the extra bit which you get. You always get this kind of like rounded off bit that doesn't have any kind of backing in it. So if you fold that in, okay, you put the ruler the right way up, Dave. Don't do this. Don't. We're going to fall out, aren't we, me and this book in a minute? Well, it's going to fall out of my hand. Okay. So with that extra space, we have 4 centimeters, which is what I've found off camera. Okay. I quite like the green of this book, so I think I might keep a lot of the outside of it, but not all of it, because I'm going to have to do stuff to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have, because I've got 4 centimeters to play with, rather than having a spine on these sides of 2 centimeters each, which won't give me enough space to be able to close them if they've got anything on the front of them, I'm going to have 1.5 centimeters spine each. Okay, so that's the only thing I didn't prep for, is I need to get some more of that cardboard, which I'm just going to reach up and grab some. Now that I've got a place for everything and everything in its place in my newly tidy craft room, it's easy to get hold of these things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a spine out of these. Let's just put this somewhere out of my way. Now, because I don't have to have it so it doesn't have to be accurate, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as a template for the end to cut off. So if I kind of butt it up to there, let's get a flat edge to butt it against. If I put that up to there, put some pressure on it, and then put a pencil line down here, I can cut that bit off, safely knowing it's sort of the right length. I can cut it off if I can find my blade, which I can. I've found it. So, like I say, I'm not worried about it being a little bit short. So, cutting this side of the pencil line, which will also make it a little bit shorter. So I'm just going to cut all of this off. Okay, so got that off. Now what I want to do is I want to cut this to being 1.5 centimeters wide. Yeah? You with me? Maybe not. Okay, so if I go to 3 and I put 1 on the end and then 1 in the middle. And then I do the same again here. Go to 3. Do 1 on the end and 1 in the middle, which is 1.5 in case anybody wonders. And then at the bottom, so go to 3, 1 at the end and 1 in the middle. Okay, and then I'm going to join those lines up and hopefully they will join, which they do. Yay! I'm going to put a line there, and then I'm going to join those up, which again hopefully they do, which they do, and put a line there. They are going to be my spines. Right, let's cut this off. Just commit to it, Dave. Okay. Now it's going to be a long cut, so when you're cutting, just go shallow to start. You just want a little bit of a line, and then really all the other cuts, I'm not saying you don't have to concentrate, because you do, but all the other times you cut, the blade is running down a channel, so it's less likely to skip. So it's like a needle on a record, for anybody that remembers records. Although they are back in fashion now, so which is basically good because I kept all mine from back in the day. All of my Pet Shop Boys records and my Erasure and my Swing Out Sister and my Blancmange. Obviously not the thing to eat. I didn't keep that. I haven't kept that since the 80s. That would have gone off by now, I think. Who else? Depeche Mode, Alison Moyet. Nothing that's going to get me a fortune, but I didn't keep them for that. I kept them because I like them. Okay, so there we go. We've got 2 spines of a similar, if not the same. Similar, if not the same. Oh, it's the same. Of the same width. That's good. And they are going to be my spines. Move some of this grey board out of the way. So I buy this grey board, by the way, from a place called Scrap, and you get a bundle of 10 of those long strips for £1. So 10p each. Can't go wrong, can you? And they're basically rescued from landfill. So they're end cuts of packaging. So they'd stop them from going to landfill, which is always nice. So that's what we're going to have. We're going to have this on the end, so this will be our spine, which I'm going to attach it with some fabric or something. So they're going to go there, and then these will go on the end of those. Okay, which then will give us, it'll be a little bit over. In total, we'll end up with maybe 3mm gap between the ends as you close them. Okay, but you know, I'm happy with that. Okay, so now I've decided that I'm going to put them here. It's a good idea. So you see how these, so you can't really tell from this because the end paper, you can't see the end board. So the board for this finishes here, and then you've got a gap here, which is roughly a little over 1/2 centimetre, so it's about 3/4 of a centimetre. Okay, and that gap is the bit that gives it that kind of that hinged fold, so it's not rigid, so it doesn't just go to there and can't bend anymore. It can fold in on itself because it's got the allowance for it. Okay, and I'm going to recreate that, but not with the same amount of clearance. I'm going to have about that width, which about that width is not a specific measurement. So it's always good if you've got something that can go in there, which I believe I do. So these are skewers, okay? And what they do, it's a little bit wider than I said. What these do is that allows me to stick these down with the confidence that it's got a bit of clearance here, okay? And the same on the other side. So these are they're just barbecue skewers, and they're great use for everything. They're from flower stalks to harpooning people to barbecues. So you can use them for all of the things, including the things they're made for. Okay, so I'm now going to now commit and think about what I'm going to do with regard to the fabric that I'm going to need. So what I'm going to use is not that, because that's not the right thing. Right, give me a moment. Do you know where the Tyvek is?
No.
Is it in with the fabric? Didn't think I'd get this far on this video, to be fair. Oh, hang on, there might be some here. Might be some here, Brian. That's Tyvek, isn't it? Oh no, it's teabag roll. No. Teabag roll and Tyvek, I will just say. I'm still here, by the way. Teabag roll and Tyvek are very similar. Oh, I could use that. Yeah. Oh, let's use this. Right, I can't find the Tyvek, but I've found something that's an equally good substitute. So this, again, came from scrap. This is, do you recognise what this is? This is from those vertical blinds. So this is a strip of vertical blind, but it's lovely because it's nice and firm, and it'll do the job nicely. And so we can put the Tyvek on this part. Okay, so you use what you can find, basically. Well, I use what I can find. So let's give it a bit of an idea of how big I want it. I do have somewhere something to cut it with. Oh, there's my thing. Oh, I've just taken the hook off as well. So this is one of those fabric cutters, which means that you should be able to just give it a roll over it and it'll cut. There we go, that's fine. And it doesn't have to be accurate because it's only going on the inside. So I shall cover it over, so I'll do another one for the other side. Now, I'm sure people like Nick the Booksmith and more accomplished journalists than myself will have all their things to hand and, be able to pull it out at a moment's notice. However, that's not me. So yeah, what you see is what you get. So, okay. I'm sure they'd say, well, there's a better way to do that, Dave, than X, Y, and Z, but I'm doing it my way because yes, apparently Frank Sinatra did it like that, his way. Why shouldn't I? I'm just going to cut the edge off that. I'm just going to cut that one down a bit straighter. Like I say, these don't have to go right to the end. These are, what I'm going to do is these are going to go on the outside. Then what you'll get is, you see how this has got a bit of a, I think this is upside down now. I think the dirty marks are on the back, yeah. This has got a bit of a, like a fabric on it, and this will kind of like emulate the texture. Even if you cover it up, you'll still have that kind of texture. So, I haven't decided whether I'm going to cover it up yet. So, okay. Am I going to do it like that? Do you want to do it with a... Right. What I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to try and make these, because if I do want to leave them exposed, I don't want them stark white. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make them, I'm going to colour them with some distress stain. Well, he says he's going to colour them with some distress stain. He's going to try and find the distress stain. No, don't have to. It's labelled, it says that. Okay. great thing about labelling things. So what do we want? It's like a treasure trove, this thing in here. What have we got? Oh, walnut stain, possibly. What else? Pumice stone, maybe. I'm going for the like vintagey colours first. Vintage photo, most probably. What colour is that? Tea dye. Every time I hear tea dye, this is not going to make any sense to anybody else because it makes sense to me, but I'm from Coventry, and in Coventry there used to be a sorry, that's frayed burlap. There used to be a ice cream company called D-Dye, and every time I hear tea dye, I think D-Dye, which is what we used to call the ice cream man that came round. Oh, the D-Dye's here. So, but I didn't realise. You know, when like you grow up in your area, you just kind of think that everybody is experiencing the same thing as you. In fact, well, I don't think you think that. I think you don't think about it. It just is. But apparently not. Sorry, I don't know why I suddenly felt like the need to tidy that up. Because once I sling them over there, they'll soon get no spice marmalade. Okay, so them out of there. So yeah, that's why I always think D-dye, T-dye, T-dye, D-dye, D-dye, T-dye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some kind of a mess. Because, you know, I'm improvising now. A bit of improv. Never heard anybody did it. So, you know how I like to have a bit of a play. I need it to be long enough for my piece of fabric. I'm just going to have a bit of a splash. I'm not worried about colours mixing or anything like that, or it mixing on my sponge. That's all part of the fun. So this is my favourite colour, vintage photo. I mean, I think you probably know that. I use it possibly every time I do anything. So I think you're probably wondering what the heck am I doing now, but I'm just trying to put down some colour. Do you know what? You're probably thinking, what the heck are you doing? But you know what? I haven't got a clue. Don't ask me. I'm just doing. I'm trying to make it a bit randomy, so you kind of get blotchy staining. It might all merge together and just be brown, but like, you know, let's face it, I'm using brown anyway, so it doesn't matter if it does merge together. Bit of pumice stone, which actually isn't quite as dark as you think it is when you use it. It doesn't look as dark as that. I think it looks a lot more. It's a lot more in the grey tones than it is in the. So probably more mushroom in colour. Is what they would call it, mushroom. Don't know. Like I say, not mushroom for that. Not mushroom for that in my head. So now we've got a gooey mess here. Okay, so like, see how here you can see it on the white, how it's kind of like merging together. I'm hoping this will pick this up in some way. I'm going to just lie this down, and because it's cotton, it will pick it up, and it should kind of like get some of the mottling from this, and hopefully it will kind of bleed a bit into the next. I'm kind of having to give it a bit of a tease to do so. I have to pick this up and just plonk it down again. So just getting all the bits that are stark white. like I say, might all move around and merge together, but you know, it's all part and parcel of the fun, isn't it? And I just think the motley, if it stays motley, it looks a bit more natural. He says. Okay, so that's that. And then what we'll do is we will do the same sort of thing again. I should have done them both at the same time, I guess, but there you go. You live and you learn. Well, no, you live and you don't learn in my case, but you live and you wing it. Which I find, you know, it's my favourite thing to do, is winging everything. No instructions in life, just get on with it and wing it. So, which is fine. It all goes to plan like that until, you know, somebody gets in your way and says you can't do that. So that's when I struggle. I don't even know whether I know what I'm talking about. I don't even know whether you know what I'm talking about. I'm just talking to you now, so. You're in my world, so you just kind of have to listen to it. Mm-hmm. Listen to my...
Get used to it, you tune into the moose.
Yeah, Brian says you get used to it, you tune into moose. Did you say you tune into moose? You tune into the moose, yeah. Okay, so, yeah, my nickname being Moose.
Just you start knowing where things have appeared from. Like, how did you talk about that? Ah, we had a conversation about that.
Right, so laying this one down again. This is a different set of colours, but like, never mind. Well, not set of colours, it's the same colours, it's just not, it looks different. Well, you know, it's natural, it's not going to look the same, is it, Dave? So just, this one might get more coverage on the first lay down. More on there, a bit more down this edge. Oh yes, that's looking good. Bit of that there. Right, okay. Might give it a bit of a dab on the back. Just, well, basically just to like mop up what we've got. So.
Somebody's offending the dog.
Yeah, dog's upset now. So if you can hear grumbling in the background, it's not Wooster. It's Wooster. It's not Brian. I get Brian and Wooster mixed up all the time. So yes, their names are interchangeable these days. So I think that's age. My mum does that all the time to me. Like, I get called all of my siblings' names. Well, yeah, like I was just about to say that. I get called all of my siblings' names, but like Brian has just said, all of my siblings are girls. So like I get Diane, Lorraine, Charlotte before she gets to Dave. So.
Get it for me because there were 5 boys.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Brian was just saying like he gets it because like but there were 5 boys for them, so like it's not quite as bad. It could be quite offensive if like I was easily offended, being called Diane, Lorraine, or Charlotte, being a boy. But there you go. Anyway, let's get rid of that. Let's wipe that off. And now we're going to give this a bit of a dry. So, see if I can speed dry it, as it was impromptu. So, I mean, like, this would look nicer if you left it to dry naturally. But, you know, time and tide waits for no man. Are you using that? Is that just scrap paper?
Just scrap paper.
Can I? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on here, and then the moisture has got somewhere to go. So yeah, I'm going to start this kind of how-to thing. I mean, like, it's going to be my take on how-to. It's not going to be, this is the definitive way to, you know, decoupage with a napkin, or this is the definitive way. It's just going to be this is what I've found. These are the experiences that I've had, so that, you know, people can go and do it themselves. Also, I'm going to be trying to do things in a way that even those people who don't have a lot of craft items could do it if they, you know, they don't have access to everything, which, you know, really none of us should have access to everything, because we should be saving our money rather than spending it all on craft stuff that we never use. But we all know that doesn't happen. So that's quite warm now. I'm going to put that over there. So, I mean, it always dries more faint than you start out, even if you leave it to dry naturally. But if you leave it to dry naturally, you will get a stronger colour than you do when you speed drying something. But, you know, it's all part of the fun. So, I kind of like the way that it kind of goes mottly. Like I say, when it all dries out, it will all look like very similar, but lighter. So don't expect it to be as dark as it is when you did it, is what I'm saying. Accept the difference. Vive la différence. I know that's French. That's because I don't know what that is in German. So I can order you an egg salad, and I can ask the way to the library, and I can introduce you to my husband, my wife, my daughter, my son. I don't have any of these people, by the way, but I can do all of those things. Okay, so this is almost dry, I guess. Yeah, it could probably do with it, but like, you see how it goes. So like, you're not going to control how patchy it looks, or how some of it looks a lot whiter. So this side is a lot whiter with like lots of patches on. This side not so much. So like, you just have to kind of say, which two surfaces do I like the most? And I'm not sure. I think I like these two the best. So those two, or there's those two, or a mixture of either. This one. Yeah, I do. But they're not the same. So, but you know, like I say, it's not going to be the same, is it? So, it's just that because they're going on the same end, you would expect them to have a similar sort of like aging experience. I really like how that's turned out. So all of those people that have been spending a fortune on Tim Holtz fabric, they could do it themselves. Just saying. Just saying. I might even, like, you know, print my own. You can buy mine. Dave Flynn's fabric. No. Maybe one day. Anyway. So, I hope you like that. I hope you like how, you know, that kind of like turned out. Yeah, I'm going to use that side, I think. So, like I say, I want a bit of a spacing. I kind of want to know where the thing is coming to. What shall I do? Right, I'm going to have that. I'm definitely going to have it on the outside. I might even cover it up, so you might not even see it. So. I kind of want to have an idea of how it's going to look here. So I want it to be, you know, I want it to kind of look, it doesn't have to be straight, but I want it to kind of, you know, have a similar kind of proportion. I want it to be straight. That's what I want it to be. I'll be honest, you know. My brain's going, no, it's got to be like this. No, that's not going to be wide enough. Right, okay, let's have a look. So if we have it with an overlap of 1 inch, how wide is the actual piece? Just over 2.5 inches. Maybe we should find out in centimetres, Dave. As we've done everything else in centimetres, 6.5 centimetres. So if I have it with 2 centimetres, 2.5 maybe? 2.5, let's go 2.5. So it's got to come in 2.5 centimetres at this end, and it's got to come in 2.5 centimetres at this end. And nobody has any clue what I'm doing now, but I'm kind of just can't explain. So I want it to kind of come to about here. So it's got to have covered the pencil line, but not go too far over. And then the same here. Got to have at least covered the pencil line, but not go too far over. And another mark there. Okay, so when I stick this side down, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to flip it over, use the spacing of that, another one of those, another one of those, and then my end board. Okay, so then that will give me that kind of a hinge. You keep flipping these over, David, now you're getting confused, so like, which side looks best? Yeah, let's go with those. Yeah. Or should we go with those? No, not those. Those. Yeah, let's go with that. So, okay, so I want it to kind of go to there. That's going to stick to there. And that's going to stick to there. Okay. Could do with I'm going to do it like this, and let's see what happens. We might end up changing this, but it's because it'll evolve. Right. Okay. So to stick it down, what I'm going to use, I'm going to use some 3-in-1. Okay. I've got some. Oh, I was thinking, what is that on my screen? But it's not on the screen that you can see. It's actually stuck to the iPad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a line of glue down here, so to kind of like. Although that's not really very. That's not really very straight, is it, Dave? Let's put a bit of a guiding line there, Dave. Where's my other mark gone? There. So. I'm going to put a bit of a line down here. And across to the edge. Don't glue the bamboo things, otherwise they'll be staying in there forever. I'm just making sure there's a bit of a key, really. So. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to smooth that. Stay there. I'm just going to smooth that out a bit, and then it's less likely to come. Well, it'll come through the fabric, but it'll less likely to come through in a patchy way. So it won't be look. It'll look a bit more, a softer look to it. Okay, so then I'm going to stick. Oh, it's there. I'm going to stick this bit on first before I do the rest of the spine, so that then the glue doesn't dry out too much, because it being warm and it's being 3-in-1 quick drying stuff. I don't want it all to have dried and then it ends up being all horrible and goopy otherwise. So it will come through, like I say, a little bit on the surface, but it'll rub off. So there we go. So that's that bit down, and what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over. We're going to line that bit up, and then we're going to glue the next bit, which is this. So actually it might be easier if I take it out and glue it. So if you're not fond of having sticky fingers, probably not the best thing to do. So yeah, Brian's just said if you're not fond of sticky fingers, you shouldn't be a crafter. So, which is true. To be fair, you are going to get sticky. Yeah, you do get sticky and you get messy and a bit. Yeah. but I do know that there are people who don't like it. So
I know. And please don't take exception to my comment.
yes, and like Brian says, please don't take exception to his comment if you don't like it. He was joking. So the views of other people and my guests are not necessarily reflected of my own opinion. Reflection of my own opinion. Yes, the disclaimer that, like, unfortunately, that's how craft has got with its, especially on YouTube. You kind of have to. Somebody's going to come after you for something, and it can really dilute your art when people are like, you know, you end up having to apologise in advance for everything and
apologise for nothing.
So
people can move on. Get over.
So like this, like I say, this is gonna come through. I would get it off before it dries. So it's there you go. So like it's come through a bit, kind of rub that off until it kind of comes off the surface, and then it won't dry with a shiny thing. If you leave it to dry, it'll kind of stay there, and you'll end up with a shiny bit. So I'll try to get it off before you might miss a patch or whatever, but it doesn't have to be like wet. It needs to be kind of tacky for it to kind of come off. Okay, so there we go. We've got that next bit in, and I want to try and get this bit in before the bamboo dries onto the glue as well. So otherwise we end up with the bamboo will be there forever. Okay, so this is going to come to approximately, I don't know why you expected to be able to draw down that line, Dave, but this piece of fabric is not a straight line or a piece of card, so it's going to come to about there. So we don't want to have glue over that edge. Oh, you don't want to have glue over that edge, so like first thing you do is glue over that edge. I'm not going to go right up to that edge because it'll squeeze that way anyway. I can, just going down, just making sure I've got good coverage. I will run my finger across it anyway, so I'm trying not to have too much so that it doesn't all just squeeze out. If it goes on this bit, if it goes a little bit over that line, it's not a great problem because it's going to be hidden anyway. It won't get covered over. So I'm just trying to make that as square as possible, butting it up against the bamboo, and then going over it, squeezing it down to another flat surface, so I can use my card and then rub over it to get all on. It's like a big brown bogey. So if you've been gardening all day, it might be what when you blow your nose, that might be what comes out. So that's what it kind of feels like. Like when you peel a card off, like you've been given you've been sent your new credit card or whatever, bank card or whatever, and you peel it off and it's got that like really sticky blob. Yeah, I like that bit, but they kind of, when you play with that, it kind of rolls into like a bogey. So okay, so they're on there. I'm going to take these out before we get to the point where I can't, of no return, where they don't come out. So remember, they're just there as a spacer. I don't know why I've got 4 of them out because I don't need 4. And there you go. You see, that's our hinge now. So we've got a hinge that's very similar to this one, where it'll hinge over. It gives us some. It has some give in it. I will cover it over on this side. I'll probably use Tyvek on this side though when I find it. And then so what we'll do is we'll do the other side. So it might go a little bit over the hour today. Again, all the time I go over the hour. So So again, we're going to get our bamboo, and we're going to get, what's that? I was thinking, oh blimey, where's that gone? What's that? We're going to put that there as a spacer, that there as a spacer, and then this is going to go on the end. Yeah. We'll choose which side we want. Now it's dried out a little bit more. I don't know why I'm looking at the screen to decide which one I want to use. Yeah, I'm going to use this side. So we said 2.5, didn't we? That's what we had last time. Sorry, all the bits are coming off my fingers now. Was it 2.5? Yeah, 2.5. Yeah, 2.5. just checking. Keep checking, and rechecking. Like I say, measure once, cut twice. No, measure twice, cut once. Yeah, don't do like I always used to do, which was measure once, cut 400 times. And still get frustrated because it wasn't right. If any of you have ever seen me try to make a box, so there's a lady that used to come to one of my night classes that I used to do, called Sally, who me and her together are just like it's a recipe for disaster when we're trying to when we were trying to make a box. We must have measured it back. I ended up, Brian was working there at the time, so I ended up giving up and just saying, "Oh, Brian, help! Yeah, help me make a box." So, because if you're making something, because it was like a Matchbox style box, you know, where they slide inside each other. If you get the measurements wrong on that, they just don't. It doesn't work.
But it was that scoreboard as well. You couldn't get to
yeah,
with.
I can't get to grips with, like Brian's just said. I mean, the reason why I'm repeating what Brian's just said is because I've got a microphone on and I'm not sure whether you can hear it. So otherwise, it ends up looking like I'm talking about something that you have no idea.
Like one of those cartoons, isn't it? In the background, you hear.
Yeah. So yeah, the scoreboards I can't get on with when it says base and lid and which bit is what, and I mean I realise one is a base and one is a lid, but when you're measuring it and you've measured one piece of card and you put them both down together and then you don't know which one is which and you pick it up and you score the wrong one and like it just gets a bit It
was the amount of times you used to do that instead of sliding.
Yeah, when you put them together and they clash because they don't slide inside each other, they're both basically the same size. So, and because like your brain is kind of compensating, what you need to do with those kind of things is you just need to let it form. So let it be, one be the base and one be the lid, not trying to over analyze it. You end up thinking, okay, so this one needs to be smaller when I cut it. No, you just cut them both the same size and then the scoreboard does the work. But yeah, okay, I've kind of flogged that horse now. So anyway, that's a kind of a bit of an insight into how my brain doesn't work at times. Well, it works, it just over processes, which is basically a metaphor for my life. It over processes everything. So people say, oh, you know, don't make such a big thing of something, and like I can't not. That's how my brain works. You want me to be alive and thinking, then this is how my brain works. And in some cases, that's actually beneficial to the circumstance. In other cases, it's not. So, but anyway, that's the situation. So, right, again, just putting glue down here. And again, like I said, I'll smooth it out with my finger in a minute, but I'm going to go over here. Just covering the whole thing. smooth it out with my finger. There we go. Okay, and put that back in there quickly. Try and butt it up against those. Oh, come on. Behave. Wants to be the same length as that. Same. Yeah, that's fine. Let's put that on there now. So is that butted up? It is. Bamboo is now on the top. Go. Again, just rubbing it off as it comes through. Just get that bit off there. So like, there'll be all this all over the floor. So in a minute. So I'll vac it up. Well, not necessarily today, but I'll vac it up at some point. And where am I going to glue to? I want to glue to about there. Is that right? Yeah, that's fine. So up to about there. So you did it wrong the other way, Dave. Like I say, this bit is going to get covered anyway, so I'm just going to glue up to that edge. Trying not to do like I did last time and going over the edge. As soon as I said don't go over the edge, I went over the edge. That's my brain as well, overcompensating when that happens. So when somebody says don't do that, or don't press that, or you're getting a lift, you know, when it says do not press this button, the urge for me to press that button. Sorry?
You're definitely one of those. Don't do this. I need to know.
Yeah, Brian's just testifying to that. The fact that I have to, if it says don't, I have to.
Licking statues.
Yeah, like licking statues or licking razor blades.
Oh, licking razor blades,
yeah. Like I said that in the last video. I think some people were kind of a bit like shocked or a bit upset by the situation, but you know, it was a long time ago.
And you have learned from that.
And I have learnt from that one, yes. There are still things I haven't learnt from, but that one I have. Right, okay. Make sure that bamboo thing is in the middle. So push that down. Okay. Again, it's squeezed out a bit. Now I'm sure there are other people that do things in a completely different way, but I'm doing it my way because I am Frank Sinatra.
Because I am what I am.
Yeah, I am what I am, and I also do it my way. So Shirley Sinatra, yeah. Yeah. Not Shirley Bassey, Shirley Sinatra, that's it. So what was his wife's name? What was his wife's name?
Whose wife's name?
Frank Sinatra's wife. Nancy Sinatra. That's what I was. Nancy. I was trying to think what. When I was thinking Shirley Sinatra, I know that was a fusion of Shirley Bassey and Frank Sinatra. But like I was thinking, was that his wife's name? But it was something like that. It was a name similar to that, which is Nancy. So there you go. Anyway, so there we go. We've got another one there, and what we're going to do is we're going to lift this up and take the bamboo out again quickly before it stays there forever. That hinge has moved slightly. That one's not quite as square as the other one was, but it is what it is. Oh heck, this is not going to come out. It's stuck. Oh well, there you go. It's come out now. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of a bit skew, but it'll be fine. It'll be right. It's made with love and my own fair hands. Which way? Right, it's up, is it? Oh, up, is it? Obviously, I'm not going to keep this on here. I shall put my own thing. So that's where we are. So we've now got a nice fold that folds nicely. It's got some give. And it should fold together, yes, and be fairly square, yes, it is. So there we go. So that'll be our our other end, so that'll be our opening end, and obviously that'll be the other side, and we'll put some fabric or something down the back of there. But there we go, that's what we've got. So made the base of it. So this is the start of it, and then what we're going to do is I always record something after every live hour. I always do. Well, I don't always. 99.9% of the time, I'll do a video straight after this, and the next few that I'm going to be doing are the how-to. So how to do whatever, and the first one is going to start with how I decoupage. So I have tried out all sorts of different glues, so you don't have to. So that's it for this thing. Hour live. That's the one I was trying to think of. So this, but just sometimes people say live. What live? Because I put this onto YouTube, and then like people say, what? It wasn't live, was it? No, I record. I save this. I do a live on my Facebook, and then when I put it onto YouTube, it's pre-recorded. So, but anyway, so thanks very much for being with me. I realise I'm competing with football. No, I know, but people are having family get-togethers and everything today. So, yes, how very dare they? So. Thank you for watching. If you did watch, I hope you enjoyed what I did. I will read your comments afterwards and reply as necessary. I'll hopefully at least liked them. And then if you're posting on Facebook, make a comment and I will reply to that. If there's anything you want to know, let me know. And hopefully you can join me for the sorry, my fingers are really dirty now. For when I do the how-to videos. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. My name's Dash of Dave. I hope you all have a good afternoon. Good luck for tonight if you're a football supporter, for whoever you are supporting. I am on the fence about this. I know I'm British and I live in the UK, but it's football and I'm not really very interested. So, so it's football as in football being British football rather than American football, as in it's called soccer overseas. It's rarely called soccer here. So anyway, I'm over explaining again, aren't I? So, I'll shut up now. You all have a good afternoon. I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. My name's Dash of Dave. Please like and subscribe. And I love you all without exception until you give me a reason not to. So don't give me a reason not to. You all have a lovely day. Take care of yourselves. Bye. 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 Bye.